Hi, and welcome to this slightly delayed forecast for August 3rd through the 9th of 2026. I'm on my way to an astrology conference. I'm so excited in Crestone, Colorado, and I'm getting this out before I go. I am going to wait to write next week's forecast to see if any information that I get this week informs that. And that conference is over on Sunday, and I have to travel about 9 hours back home between Sunday and Monday. So expect a slightly late forecast again yesterday. The August forecast is just going out today as well. I got to say, I think we moved 5 households to Lubbock about 6 weeks ago, and they're still kind of unfolding. I'm about to get the last one into his apartment. And when 5 members of your family, including yourself, are somewhat destabilized, because my son was also home from Germany from the Air Force for a few weeks, it kind of threw the game board straight up in the air. So I am still finding my feet in our new home, how to use my new office and actually be able to do this stuff without interruption because it's right in the main hub of the house, all that jazz. So, summer vibes. I'm always feeling unstable in the summer. I'm always feeling like when my kids were in school, um, I always felt like I was anxious to get back to school so I could re-anchor back into my routine. So I'm definitely feeling that, and I hope that you guys can feel some patience for me as I stumble through this era. Hopefully, we're not moving again for a decade or more. Okay, this week I am calling it coming home to the body because everything that I have been hearing, when I say hearing, like from my intuition, from my higher self, everything I'm seeing out in the media and with all of the astrologers that I follow, it's all asking us to slow down and get into the body and to notice what's happening. And this week, I've been noticing how quickly my body tells me when something's unsafe. And I have seen it in other people. I've seen it in the behavior of my son. I've seen it in the language and the reactions of my other son. I've seen it in my mom as she travels through, is it dementia? Is it a TBI that's just, gradually taking more of her memory? I don't know. But fear is what pops up. And I spoke a lot about it in the August forecast. But what I'm referring to is when our immediate reaction is, it's like a fear response. And I can feel it, that my shoulders rise, my breathing gets into my upper chest, my jaw tightens. And I instantly shift into solving a problem, not waiting to actually understand what has happened. My body often knows when fear has come on to me before my mind actually realizes that. And it's been so helpful for me to sort of add that filter or that lens. If you follow me, you know. If you know, you know. Um, and so I'm trying to step back and allow myself time, whether that be 5 minutes or a day before I step into responding to something. And it depends on the situation. One of my kids noticed it this when he was visiting from Germany. He was like, "You're not responding and you're not saying anything," and kind of got on me because I used to be instantly into fix it mode and I'm not anymore, which is great because I don't have to fix everything. That's not my job. That's not what I'm here. And that's codependency stepping out in its in the worst of the shadow form, because that means I'm controlling. And fear controls me in that same way. So I'm often wondering how many of my decisions were actually made by my nervous system being in that fear response rather than by the present moment for me. And that's where this week opens because we are in the turtle and turtle medicine. We're ending it today. It carries its home within its body. So there's no version of the turtle that leaves the shelter behind to go looking for shelter elsewhere. It carries its life with it. And our bodies are the same. We have nooks and crannies that hold memory, that hold emotional response, that hold worry, that holds sadness, fear, shock, trauma, you name it, it's in this incredible form that we have. And so what that the lesson of that is the protection is already within our body, within our structure. It's already within the turtle's shell. And turtle moves slowly. It's one of the slowest moving creatures that we will ever encounter, and its slowness works as a strategy rather than a limitation. So, if I could offer just one TLDR, it is slow down this month because the energy of all of this astrology from last month, which I said was a trigger point of the year, this year is also, it's just an expression of that. The trigger that was set off in July is carrying on into August and even beyond, all the way to November. So, slow down. When we move carefully, we conserve our energy, we protect our energy, and we do not throw ourselves at every threat or every opportunity. It allows us to be discerning and say, what deserves my attention? What actually needs my attention and my energy? When we consider the shell of the turtle, it's actually armor from the outside. It's like a knight's breastplate or Inanna's chest plate. I talk a lot about Inanna right now because I'm sort of evaluating a whole bunch about her descent. When she has to go through the seven gates, she loses her crown, and then she loses her necklace, and then she loses her jewelry, and then she loses her breastplate, and then she loses her robe. You know, each of these identities or roles she has to shed as she descends down into her journey. And we are being asked to do the same. In the August forecast, I talked a lot about how this is all asking us to really evaluate the roles and identities that we have taken on. And the information about that is found in this turtle shell. Turtles are among the longest living animals on Earth, some outlasting the humans who study them by decades. So there's still a lot of myth and mystery around these animals. But when we preserve our energy, we tend to last. When the turtle chooses how to spend its energy and spend its life force, it lasts a long time. I know that I have spent most of my life giving away my life force energy for peace around me. And for a long time, that felt like self preservation. And what I now know is that when I find myself spinning like that, when I find myself being called out to react really fast, it's not in my best interest. And I'm meddling where I should not be meddling. So this week, the turtle is asking you to notice where you've been moving faster than your own nervous system can actually handle, arriving at conclusions or reactions before your body has caught up. Our body knows. Our wisdom is in our gut. So I have said a lot recently that the longest journey I've had to travel over the course of my life probably is from my brain to my heart, just those 18 inches. And we need to even allow it to dive lower than our hearts into our gut before we actually can find our way to our truth. So, what would it feel like to trust that you already carry what you need to feel safe? Would it feel like to trust that you will know the right path? And sometimes we're going to be faced with two choices, right? And maybe one is not that much better than the other, but like one will at least get us into movement, into progress, into shifting. But we can evaluate in our gut which one feels better. Some might feel exponentially better. Some may just be a whisper of better. This is also the month to listen to that whisper. On August 3rd, which was Monday, Chiron stationed retrogrades at 0 degrees Taurus. And this is where the week asks us to slow down even further and look honestly at what we have built our safety on. So Taurus is I have, it's material. It's like I have this and this, and these things make me feel safe. The things that we look outside of ourselves to see. And what if we looked at that with curiosity and would be like, what if the wound it points to is not asking to disappear, but to sort of be understood? Why do you feel more secure? Because you have this. What is that offering you, and can you find it within, and maybe reevaluate that sense of safety. Chiron is called the wounded healer, and we are not going to solve this wound or fix this wound in our lifetime. The idea with astrology is that it's a different lens to work through, right? To work with, to have an understanding of, and to allow that to inform choices. I talked a lot in August about how past stories and our experiences and our conditioning and trauma taught us, you know, all of these things that kept us unsafe, etc. Those are old stories. What if we could step into the now with those old stories along, but resolved, and I talk about that in August, but also with the information that we're moving forward and with introspection, not retrospection, but also introspection, which involves the present moment with the wisdom of the past as well. Taurus governs the body. It rules the physical experience of being alive, the senses, the appetites, and the nervous system's baseline sense of whether the world is safe enough to relax into. When Chiron touches Taurus, it asks where your body has learned to brace instead of settle. Maybe that tension shows up somewhere specific, or maybe it shows as a habit of ignoring hunger or your body's natural needs, or ignoring exhaustion when your body's asking you to rest. That's a big thing for me. Um, or until the pain gets so loud that you can't ignore it. Many of us migraine sufferers, I often say that I get a migraine when I've been ignoring my body's cues to rest, slow down, release, put something down until I am forced to do so. And I hate being forced. Hate it. Um, the body remembers what the mind sometimes prefers to forget. And this transit invites us to listen to it instead of only through the stories that our minds have told us about it. So that's the communication between mind and feelings, right? Taurus also governs resources, which is a wider category than money alone. It's those things that you have. It is money, but it's also I have a house, I have a job, I have all of these different things, what you keep and what you consider enough. Chiron here can bring up a lot of old feelings about scarcity or about self-worth, about earning your right to rest or to comfort or abundance. I have found myself asking that this week. My body wants to rest, but there's 950,000 things on the to-do list. So how do I do it? How do I take the rest? Um, you might notice yourself questioning spending habits that no longer fit who you are becoming. Or maybe there's an invitation that you start questioning your spending habits and see if they actually are in balance, in right relationship with the person that you're becoming. Self-worth runs beneath all of this. And so going back to August and that whole introspection that I was talking about, and if you haven't listened to August, please go back and listen to it, although it's 50 minutes because there's so much happening. The process of excavating our own internal systems should very well maybe take a priority in our lifetimes and in our daily practice. And that this is where ritual helps me. This is where having a set of steps that I walk through every single day into myself and into what's happening within my body helps me. And when I feel swirly on the yo-yo, I think was the name of that fair thing where you're in a little seat and you get flung around. When I'm there, I know I need to step back into my practice and I can just go through a few steps to get myself back into my car, back into the driver's seat where I am consciously and with awareness driving my car and not being flung around by the powers that be. That's going to be in the IU post for this week, which will be coming out hopefully today. So Taurus asks us the question so many of us avoid answering. With every single thing that we are having to choose between, is it worth inherent? Is your worth inherent, built into the way turtle's shell is built into its spine? Or is it something that you can put down? If you have to keep proving yourself through output, performance, appearance being useful, is it actually worth it? Chiron's here asking you um, whether or not that's true, whether or not it's worth it without rushing past. The nervous system has so much information for us, and um, Taurus rules the part of us that decides. Often below conscious awareness, where whether we are safe enough to soften. Touch matters in this territory as well, both the touch we receive from others and the touch we give ourselves. I have felt that the touch that I give myself, the awareness I allow myself to feel and to anchor into, is the most important thing in my daily practice. Getting back into my body and being in touch with what is happening is the best gift I can give myself every day. Um, where you live and how connected you feel to the actual earth beneath your feet, beneath your home, and whether your living space feels like a shelter or simply a place you sleep also falls under Taurus. So I don't know if many of you know this, but because I have certifications in just about everything, I'm also a feng shui practitioner. And what I would ask, the element I would put in here for this week would just be take a look around your space and see what is blocking energy. And my little neurodivergent ADHD mind often means that when I pick something up, I put it down where I'm finished using it and then I walk away. And then I just kind of stop seeing those things that need to be put away because the idea of like rounding all this crap up that is attached to things I was doing in the past, that feels like a whole lot for me. And my brain just kind of erases those things. So for a couple minutes every day, I now sort of walk around my home and see like what is in disorder. Disorder blocks flow, right? So what is in disorder and how can I put order back into this space? That also is within our emotional bodies and within our nervous systems. When something is left unprocessed, it becomes a block. So in the August forecast, I talk about the snake. So just to bring this back into the snake, when the snake is de-shedding, like it's shedding its skin, it has to process all of the stuff that went into building that skin in order for it to release that skin. And it's hard work. It's not easy. And it takes intention, it takes effort, it takes time. And the last bit of that shedding of the skin is what takes the longest and is the hardest part. And I want to anchor that into all of the astrology of this summer has been like, what are we releasing? What are we leaving behind? Blah, blah, blah. That even anchors into the eclipses from the spring. And that can kind of become like ad nauseum, like, what the hell are we saying? What I'm saying is, if you evaluate your emotional self and you notice that there are things that you have not processed or fully resolved, that doesn't mean closure, that means resolved within you. That can be a sticking point. And then when you're trying to shed your skin, it's going to get caught. And what I see is the last remnants of codependency, of my old instinct, which I'm constantly fighting against to provide safety within my environment. Other people's emotions feel very unsafe to me. Makes sense with my history. So I get to constantly reevaluate and reassure myself that I am not responsible for anybody else's emotions. If they have a problem with me, it's their job to come speak to me about it and we can have a conversation and grow from it together. If they explode at me, that's a reflection on them, that's not me. This is a constant refrain and it's becoming easier and easier. It's becoming less sticky. And so my intention right now as we move through this Lionsgate, which is about flow, and a number of other things. Uh, and with this eclipse season that's coming up next week, that's what I'm letting behind. I get to step forward into my full autonomy and authority and speak my truth out loud and share the crazy, wacky stuff that happens in my brain. And if it can help someone, awesome. And if it's not for you, just put it down and walk away. That's beautiful. That's resonating at our full frequency without the catches and the stickiness of other people's expectations and their belief systems that inform the way we move forward, inform the way we behave. Um, I talk about kintsugi in the August forecast as well, that the parts of me that still want to protect me from other people's emotions and the harm that that explosive rage has caused, I'm not releasing it so it goes away and that those scars are fully cleansed from my being. I'm allowing those scars to become fully integrated into this beautiful soul that is walking on this planet. And those scars get to inform why I get to release responsibility for that explosive emotion. Those scars remind me that I am worth more and that I am worth my own belief in who I am as opposed to what's reflected in the rage of those outside of me. And that gets to become my constant mantra. Gets to become the scars that are on this body and within this soul moving forward. And it makes me who I am. That's the idea of kintsugi, right? You take the broken pieces and you glue them together with gold, and it becomes more valuable because of that. Same, same. Um, And this work is really about opening up a constant dialogue and a really supportive, curious dialogue with your ego. Why are you what happens when you feel yourself step into fear? When someone does something and instantly you're triggered or you're like, when your body does that, be curious. That's rather than fight it. When when we're curious about why our ego pops up or our protective parts pop up, it'll that those parts have been trying to keep us safe the whole time. So fantastic. Like that deserves some reverence and some gratitude, lots of gratitude. Like thank God. Um, but it's also running old programs. And we needed that before. I don't need that anymore. And so when you feel fear rising, you get to address what part of you is afraid. And what does that do? Does that feel like an expansive energy or a constrictive energy? And if we think about the snake trying to release its skin, it kind of needs to constrict a little bit to release that stuff so that it can expand into its new form and its new skin gets to emerge. Same, same. So if fear meets you this week, that's what I encourage you to do. And I love comments. I love to hear from the people who are reading this. If this is helpful, place them in the Substack comments if you want to comment on YouTube. And you can also DM me. You can find me on all the socials. And I'm interested in hearing if this serves, if it's not. What format do you guys like best? I am not a creature of habit. So this will probably never look the same week to week, month to month. But what's calling to you? What do you wish I spoke of more? I would love to hear that. Um, we are moving into today, the energy of Gate 7. And for those of you who don't know, I have released my shamanic calendar. What it is it's my interpretation of the gene keys or gate, so what goes into the Sacred Wild Oracle deck, and it has a longer explanation. So today, this afternoon, we move into Gene Key 7. So when you open it up on your calendar, you'll see this shadow gift and city, the dates that we're going to be in that gate, and it's anchored to my assistant's email so she can help me, but I created it. The name of the gate, different information, where it sits in your body, the basic summary, and then it goes into the Shadow Gift and City. But if you click on that link right there, it opens up the card that corresponds with my deck. And I love that we're stepping into the gate of the wolf with leadership. And I love the cycle of this turtle into the wolf when we're having special elections in many states. What I love about the wolf is that it represents what I'm what I've been talking about Leo, about this South Node in Leo with the North Node. It's leadership, but it's leading through listening. I guide through the integrity of my soul. It's not leadership by force. It's not leadership by imposition and imposing your views or your will on other people. The wolf leads by being attuned to what's happening within the pack. That means he's curious and open and listening all the time. He or she is aware of what's happening within the pack and then guides through what resonates as being the best path for the pack, not for the individual, but for the pack. And that's what leadership, I think, is going to look like as we move into this shift of the nodes between into Leo and Aquarius. The South Node is in Leo. So when I think of South Node, this is my perception. The South Node is in your rear view mirror. So it's where we came from. Some people refer to this as the tail of the dragon and that which is leaving us because we've already sort of passed through it. And the North Node is the mouth of the dragon and where we're going. The Leo is in the South Node, Aquarius is in the North Node. So, or the North Node is in Aquarius. What that means to me is we get to keep the perspective of the South Node that's in our rear view mirror as we move forward. And the journey has asked that we compost things that no longer serve us. So if we are thinking about the turtle and we're harvesting and composting our experiences and trying to release or put down the stories that no longer serve us, and then be able to emerge into the new skin of the snake, into this new persona that's more in alignment with who you are, that's the ask before we move forward into the collective. Because those who have done the work stepping into the collective will make the collective stronger and guide it with more ethics and more sort of value and idea from the wolf of what's best for the whole pack, not what's best for the individual. Aquarius is all about technology. So look at all the technological things that are abounding, the flock cameras, all of the surveillance, all of the AI data centers that are popping up. And is that really because little old me occasionally uses AI, or is it because we need a place to store all the surveillance and that all the businesses, including the government and the military, need all of that to store all of that information? And I think those are two different things. So anyway, that's for a whole different conversation. But that's where my brain goes with this Leo South Node axis. Here's a practice for this week. Notice when your shoulders tighten. My shoulders are, somebody's told me a long time ago, you wear your shoulders like earrings. Yes, yes, I do. So when they get really tight, when I notice that my breath gets really short into my throat, up here into my upper chest, which exacerbates the tension up here, or when my body braces, I ask myself what my body's reacting to before my mind has caught up. And fear feels like that in my body. Fear feels like getting prepared for action. And so, what do I need to understand? And what is the lesson? What is that fear trying to show me? And how can I move forward with that? Um, and so, asking different questions, being curious. Instead of asking, what am I afraid of? Uh-oh, it froze. Instead of asking, what am I afraid of? Maybe you can ask, what part of me believes this is not safe? What story is running in the background, informing the way my car is driving that is is maybe not accurate anymore? Because we carry beliefs that are informed by the past. We carry beliefs that are from other people's voices. And maybe it's time for us to set all that down and not carry that into the future. This can be done all the time. It doesn't require you sit down and go into like a deep meditation, and it's not heavy work. It's something that can constantly be in flow as we move into Lionsgate. There's going to be a whole different mention of Lionsgate. I'm just going to riff on it. I am not a formal astrologer. I am not an I have played with it for 35 years. I am not formally astrologically trained. These are my interpretations of these experiences, and I hope that they help. I do look forward to hearing from some of you about your experiences this week. And if you're not safe, if you don't feel safe sharing it publicly, again, message me or you can journal about it. And my journal writing will be about really exploring an event that happened in my life where my body knew I was unsafe before my mind could explain it. And what did that feel like? And what did I do with that information? And how did I kind of alchemize that so that that old skin can be released at the time of this eclipse? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that helps. Bye.